Good evening. Around my 16th birthday, I went to see Cream at a local club in South London, and I was a fledgling guitarist. I was still at school, and I went to see Eric Clapton. And then I got to the gig, and I saw this really crazy red-haired drummer, and I'd never seen anything like it in my life. I'd never seen anyone play like him before, and I just spent the whole gig watching Ginger Baker and not Eric Clapton. And at the end of the they played two sets. At the end of the second set, he played his drum solo, which was in those days Toad. And it lasted about 15 minutes. I thought he was going to die. I really did. I thought, he can't keep this up. This is ridiculous. Anyway, at the end of the gig, a friend and I, we got up to leave, and I trod on something, and I looked down, and it was a discarded drumstick. And it was Ginger had tossed it out. He'd broken the stick during the solo. In those days, the drums weren't mic'd up at all, and they just started making Marshall stacks. So the guitarist and the bass player were really loud, and the drums were quiet in comparison, and Ginger was using huge sticks so that he could get through the noise. Anyway, fast forward, I thought this is an omen. I took the drumstick home with me. I don't still have it. But fast forward to 1980, and I got a call from Dave Brock, who was the lead guitarist with Hawkwind, and he said, we've had to get rid of our keyboard player. Could you join the group? And this is mid-tour. And I thought, Hawkwind? And then I remembered that Ginger was playing with Hawkwind. And I thought, this is a chance to play with my childhood hero. So I joined the tour. Mid-tour, I was a new boy. No one knew who I was. And I had an hour's rehearsal with the guitarist, then a sound check, and then the next gig was at a place called Leicester. And the first thing Ginger said to me, there was this gap. I'd never played in a band as loud as Hawkwind. It was incredibly loud. And there was this bit in the song where the guitars stop and it's really peaceful, and Ginger was doing a really delicate rhythm. And the hall had a very strange repeat echo. So Ginger was doing something like tick, 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 like that. And it was echoing all around the room. And of course, I picked up on the wrong echo. So I started to play out of time. And I thought, oh God. Anyway, after the gig, Ginger, this is the first thing he said to me. He came up to me and he just looked me in the eye, and he had very penetrating eye, Ginger. And he went, young man, you've got to learn to play in time. And that was it. And I was horrified, I was mortified. That was my hero. So I went to ask the sound man, can I listen to the tape? I want to find out where I went wrong. And so I found out what was going on. And I found out that he was doing this very basic thing, which I think happens a lot. He's just basically doing 2 against 3. He's going, that's what he's doing, but he's varying it all the time. Once I'd sorted that out, I knew I wasn't going to lose my place with him again, and I didn't. And to cut a long story short, 3 months later, there was a massive breakup in Hawkwind. Ginger had got bored. He didn't like the bass player. And he said, we were at Rockfield Recording Studios, and he said, we've got a tour of Italy. He said, we don't have to take Hawkwind, we can do it. Do you know any people that can play? And I thought, 3 days' time? So I thought, anyway, so I found, Trimmer is standing here somewhere, well, I don't know where he is, but he was one of them. And on that tour, so we got a band together in 3 days, and we came to Italy, and we did the tour, and Ginger loved it because we were playing much more jazzy stuff, and it varied from night to night. And on the last night of that tour, this young man here, Peter, saw the last gig, and he was 16, and it was one of the first bands he'd ever seen. And he was also transfixed by Ginger. So that's my little story. And so what we have is some of the remains of that band and brought together by Peter for this occasion. So I hope you enjoy it.